what I wanted to talk about today was promoting our podcast. How can we do that? And how can we use community and other people and some lesser unknown strategies to grow our podcast? Because most people have a podcast, they post it online, and nobody ever watches it because they're not promoting it effectively. So I want to go over some strategies today on how to do that. So let's talk about, like I said, how do we promote our podcast? And these are a lot of strategies that you can stack on top of each other and use all together to get more visibility for your podcast. So one of the first things that you can do is use the community tab on YouTube. So a lot of people don't know about this feature, but on YouTube, there is actually a community tab. And this community tab allows you to do a different type of content than just posting a video on YouTube. You can promote a video that you have or a podcast that you were on through a community post. So let me show you an example of this. I had a gentleman on named Corey ASMR, and Corey was on my podcast. And Corey has 331,000 followers. Wow, right? That's huge. So if I can get Corey to promote my channel, that's going to give me a lot of views, right? If I'm using other larger accounts. And how does he do it? He's not going to post my video to his wall because it's not his video. The video is on my channel. But what he can do is he can promote it through his community tab. So I'll scroll down a little bit here. And you see that this video that he created was actually created by me. And then he essentially reposted it through his community tab. And you see this video has 1,000 views. And if I go into the analytics of this video, I can actually see the increase. This increase came from Corey. But I can also see in the analytics of the video that channel pages, that means community tab, 86% of the views came through a channel page. So the strategy here is to be maybe on somebody else's podcast or have a really high profile person on your podcast and then have them share it out through your community tab. If you guys want somebody on your podcast, we talked about this last week, having a podcast yourself that already has episodes, quality episodes that rank high, that put some production value into you, not just one podcast, but 5, 10, 20 podcasts. That's going to give you access to those high-profile guests. Because if you say, hey, do you want to come on my podcast? First question they're going to ask, sure, send me a link to your podcast. Because they're going to check it out. Now, they're not going to watch every episode, but they're going to watch snippets of it to see the quality. And if you don't have episodes already, you're going to have a really hard time because they're like, what am I getting into? Okay, let's talk about niche/group playlist. So it's niche/group playlist. What do I mean by that? Well, on YouTube, there's playlists, okay? And you'll see we could have what I would call a group playlist. And this group playlist would look something like this, okay? But these are all of my videos. What we could do is we could have each one of these videos in this playlist be from a different podcast. So maybe we have a podcast discovery playlist with all of our different podcasts in it. And so if somebody sees your podcast, what we do is that's part of a playlist that will direct them to other ones. We can also use something on YouTube called the end screens. So at the end of the YouTube video, you'll see these two pop-ups here, okay? Now, this is something that you can actually edit in the back studio of YouTube. You can add end screens, these little pop-ups at the end of your videos, which direct them to new links. So the things that you can direct them to are videos, playlist, subscribe, or go to your channel. And so this is what it looks like on the computer, and then this is what it looks like on the phone. This is the subscribe button, this is a playlist, and then these are just videos that I'm directing people to. What we can do is we can use the playlist, and then we can use the end screens on those playlists to direct them to everybody else's podcast, right? So we can have playlists of multiple people, multiple podcasts that direct people to other people's podcasts. And we could all have a podcast like that on our channel that directs to our friends and our business compatriots channels. And that's a really great way. So playlist, another great feature to use. Let's talk about tagging people. So when I have somebody on my podcast, like this podcast here, me and Bree did a YouTube creator guide. What I did was I tagged her channel. And you see below here on the video, it creates hot links that go directly to the channel. So if someone's watching this video and they're like, oh, let me go to Bree's channel. Well, I put the links right down here in the description so people can just click on those. And that's another way of driving traffic. So if you're on somebody's podcast, tell them, hey, tag me in the podcast, tag my channel so people can quickly go to it. That's another method. Pretty simple. Okay. Want to talk about researching the competition. So two tools that I would use are TubeBuddy and vidIQ. These are free tools. There is a paid level. If you guys want the links, you can go to my website, alexhit.com, and I'll put the links here to these in the chat right now. And the value that I get out of these two tools is this. When you download these tools, it'll give you an analytics dashboard of your competitors' videos. So I can see what's their vidIQ score? What are their tags? Okay. Is their title good? You know, what are the different things that they've done to their video? I can get some data and analytics, and this information is not available without these plugins. So I download both and I use both of the tools for free. And it gives me all of this data about my competitor. So I can go to, let's just say Corey was my competitor. I can go to his video, I can click on it, and this is vidIQ and TubeBuddy over here, and I can see some information about his podcast, okay? What I really look for is kind of this section and then the tags. And Corey actually doesn't have any video tags on this video, but I can see, okay, does he have titles? Did he share it to Facebook, thumbnail? You know, the paid versions give you a little bit more, but I don't personally, if you want to pay for them, cool, but not necessary. So, you know, if you're going to make a video about affiliate marketing, go look at the top affiliate marketing video. What was their title? What were their tags? What's their channel tags? What are all the different things that they're using on their channel? And then get information from that, copy it, do it on your channel, right? Another thing that you can do, a lot of people don't know this, guys, but you can do paid traffic to a video through Google keyword ads. And I did it on one of these videos, and you can see down here that it actually tracks what percentage of your views are from advertising. So a lot of people don't know this, but you could look at somebody's YouTube channel and say, wow, this guy's got a lot of views. They could all be paid for. Paid views. And I know somebody out there who tricks people and they say, oh, I have a super successful podcast and it has thousands and thousands of views. It doesn't. They paid for it all. And the views aren't actually real views, because if somebody watches for more than 5 seconds, it counts as a view. So he may have thousands and thousands and thousands of views, but if you actually look at his watch time, it's very little. So I'll go to that video of mine that I did paid traffic on because I wanted to experiment with it and check it out. So I'll go to my channel and I'll go to my videos and I'll go to my popular ones. And here's the video that I paid. And I'll show you the analytics on it. This is the paid traffic, okay? That's the paid traffic. And then you can see the retention curve down here. How long did people actually watch that video? A lot of times, if you do paid traffic to a bad video, what you'll see is a sharp decline right away. It'll just drop, the watch time will drop off the face of the earth, okay? Just right away. This has pretty good watch time. So paid ads, and you would do that through Google keyword ads. And we'll talk more about that later if you're interested in it. But paid ads is a good way. And the recommendation that I've got from a lot of people is that if you have a video that's performing well, that's actually doing well organically, meaning not paid, if you want to grow your channel even faster, if your video is doing well, dump a little bit of paid money into it. It could just be $5, $10, $20, $5 a week for 2 months, and that can really help grow the channel, okay? But if you're not making good videos, driving paid traffic to it is not a good idea. Just a waste of money. You're not going to get paid by YouTube for watch hours that come from paid traffic. I would not buy watch time. I would not buy subscribers. I wouldn't do any of that crap. I mean, it's just, YouTube is way smarter than you maybe think. If you're paying for subscribers or you're paying for watch time, those watch time usually come from watch time farms. Places in foreign countries where people are just clicking. They have like literally a wall of 100 phones and they open up all your video in all these different phones. YouTube is wise to that. They're not going to pay you out on views from, you know, Antarctica. A bunch of VAs in Antarctica watching that's not going to help your channel. It's going to hurt your channel. You want watch time from real accounts in America or in another English-speaking country. And we'll talk about opportunities outside of that. But yeah, I would not pay for subscribers. If you want to do paid traffic based upon keywords, that's a different story. How the paid ads work is that you select a specific keyword. And if somebody types in that keyword, your video will display. Your video will pop up. And then it can either be an in-feed video or it can be a search-based video. So there's 2 different types of ways that you can promote your YouTube video. This is a type of YouTube video advertisement. And it could either direct them to a link or it can direct them to the full video. But there's another type of advertisement that you can do, which is called a display, which is like this. So I typed in affiliate, and this guy paid to have this video right here. You see it's sponsored. Okay, so it's like a display paid traffic ad. Okay, or what I can do is I can have an ad that displays at the beginning of a video like this one. And we could talk more about that, but we're not going to talk about it all today and how to set them up and how to run it. But those are essentially the 2 types of ads to promote your YouTube videos. The next way, cross promotion. What do I mean by this? I mean, taking your YouTube video and sharing it out on all these other social media platforms. Cross promotion. So when I have a YouTube video, I put it on LinkedIn, I put it on Facebook, I put it on X, I put it on Instagram. I just put it on all the different social media websites, and I'm driving them all to my YouTube video. And I would think about this like, if you guys don't have a big social media following on one channel, focus on one channel first. I would personally do YouTube. I still have a Facebook. I still have a LinkedIn. I still do all those things, but I'm really trying to drive most people into my YouTube channel because that has the highest monetization capability is a YouTube channel, in my opinion. So very simple concept, but just sharing it out in ways that you can help other people on their videos is liking it, sharing it, watching it, reposting on it, and commenting on it. So if Marty's on my podcast and Marty reposts the video to his Facebook, I'm going to go to Marty's video. I'm going to share it. I'm going to like it. I'm going to comment on it, and I'm going to repost it. And that's going to help it get out there a lot more. Next thing I want to talk about is multiple languages. So I'll give some information here first. You know, the United States is only 4.3% of the global population. And English is not really most people's first language. And so we're missing out on 96% of the world's population. So there's a tool that I haven't used yet, but I just found it that will translate your audio scripts into 130 languages. It's on my website, alexhitt.com, ALEXHITT.com. If you scroll down here, it's this tool right here, and I'll put it in the chat if anybody's interested. Eventually, what YouTube will do, this is big, guys, and I wanted to really talk about this today because it's a big thing. AI has allowed us to auto-transcribe our voices into another language. YouTube will eventually integrate that into the YouTube platform. They haven't yet because it's not perfected and they want to make sure that there's a good product, for it. But eventually, YouTube will allow you to auto-transcribe all of your videos into every single language available. What this will do is it will open up the market for our content globally, an increased market size of 96% or 90%. And American media has traditionally been the largest form of media, even globally. I lived in Japan and they watch American movies. China, they watch American, everybody looks to America for media content in a lot of ways. And we can be those Hollywood studios who distribute to the entire globe, but just as one creator. And we can have a global audience, but just be one person. This is a big change. This is something that some of the big influencers are talking about. Mr. Beast, for example, does this. He transcribes all of his audio. I think he even has voice actors who do it for him. So he's doing it to the highest level. But, we could look at Mr. Beast's account. He has 1 billion views on a video. That's not really coming from America. He's targeting a global audience. And so all of us should be thinking, and I really want to start doing this more in the group. And me and Bree are going to be really talking about this because this is a huge opportunity for everybody. Literally life-changing money. Your whole life will be different if you focus on this and think about what type of content is relevant to a global audience. And we're going to be doing this actually every single week in our Maxer Community podcast, which we'll talk about. But this is going to be a focus, and we're going to be staying up to date. And how can we translate so we can reach a larger audience? And then what type of content is applicable to a global audience so we can really monetize it? But that's very exciting, guys, and something that we should all be thinking about. And I'm more than ever, audio podcast, video podcast. It's a huge space to grow into. So everybody says, oh, the market is oversaturated with podcasts. No, definitely not. But you can build it now and then do the transcribing later. So you can have your whole catalog of podcasts. And then when YouTube comes out with this feature, you can just retroactively go back and do all the translation, click the button to translate it all. This is big. Let's keep going. Optimizing your titles, description, and tags. Using the analytics on your YouTube channel is really important. So when I have a video that's doing well, or when I want to check out this podcast, I'm going to go look at the analytics. What's the watch time? What's the retention time? So I'll go to a video that's a little bit older. I'll go to this video. It's getting 50 views. It looks like it's being picked up again. I'm going to see the watch time. So at about 38 seconds, I only retained 37% of my audience. That's not very good. What I can kind of ascertain from that data is that my intro wasn't compelling. I didn't give people a reason to continue to watch. The reason is, that video was a training and I didn't have kind of a fancy intro, but there's a lot of information that you can gain from the analytics. And if I go to my reach, I can get some more data. I can see where's the traffic coming from. What search is bringing them here? Let me go to a different ones that will have some more data, like on my affiliate marketing mastermind. Okay. So if I go into my reach, I can see how did people discover this video? Well, they found it through actually searching for one of the topics that I talk about, which is Partner Stack. Well, maybe I need to make some more videos about Partner Stack and Partner Stack's affiliate program, because this is how people are finding this video. And I can also see how they're discovering it in other ways. Content that is suggesting my videos. And then I can look at the engagement, likes, and I can look at my audience. Where are they? Are they subscribed? Are they not subscribed? Are they listening in English? Are they listening with subtitles? Okay, and we can even see some information about the languages listening. French, auto-translated. Analytics are a good thing to use. Next is creating high-quality thumbnails. I can't stress this enough that thumbnails are a huge part of YouTube's success. So if I go over here on the right-hand side, what's catching my attention are not these, but the thumbnails, okay? And creating high-quality thumbnails like this one and this one and this one, and, and having clarity about the thumbnails is really important. So, if you're not a really talented graphic designer, I would go to like Fiverr, and we're going to be creating a database of like the best video editors, the best thumbnail editors, the best, YouTube script writers. We want to create a freelancer's kind of review board. I do have a thumbnail designer, if you guys want one, who's pretty good. It's not the best, but he's pretty good, and it costs $13 per thumbnail. So you don't want to be doing thumbnails all the time. I personally just use Canva and Adobe Express. And there's a lot of pre-built thumbnails in there that work just fine. Some suggestions on thumbnails would be simple, okay? These are small. They're, look how small these are. So you can't pack in a lot of information. Generally, you only want about 3 bits of information on your thumbnail, which is a person's face. Notice that every single one of these have a person's face on it, okay? A lot of them also have numbers. So a person's face, numbers, and then recognizable logos. That is a common theme that you'll see throughout almost all of these people's thumbnails. Numbers, faces, logos. That's a big, big, big hack there. Okay. YouTube remixes. This is a huge, huge thing that everybody should be doing, is using the remix feature. We could talk more about that later. I just want to get through the last of these. Utilizing chapters. Okay. So you could use AI to create video chapters, and I'll show you what that looks like. So if I go to my channel, I used AI to create basically a timetable, timestamps for this. And we could talk about more of that later, but these can help just provide value and clarity for people watching the videos. Scheduling posts. So on YouTube, you can schedule posts, and you want to be putting videos out on a consistent basis. So bulk creating and then scheduling them out can be really helpful. And then 2, lastly, just coming into this mastermind group and sharing what's working with you. All of those are going to help you grow your channel a lot faster than just posting a video and hoping it does well.
So I have a quick question, but I was talking to somebody and they were talking about how to limit certain comments. Is that something that can actually be done on your YouTube?
Yeah, you can limit comments. So if you go into the studio feature, and I think if you scroll down here, so on this particular video, if I go into my studio, into the details section, and I scroll down, you can see I can have rules about specific comments. Hold potentially inappropriate comments for review. So like I allowed all comments, so somebody could, but there's pretty good filters. YouTube has AI that will detect bad words, or it's just like a pretty simple thing. It's like, curse words, bad words, or bullying type of things. YouTube will probably restrict and block. Yeah.
Because I would want to kind of keep it limited, and obviously you want to keep it a safe space for kids, right? To be able to say what they, but not be a butthead.
Yeah. So, in your content is for children. And so I have to show you this particular, when you upload to YouTube, I'm just going to upload a random video here. When you upload a video and it's for children, there's something special that you have to click in order for it to go out to that audience, because there are restricted, if you have the child lock or the child setting on your child's YouTube channel, they only see specific type of child related content, right? So when you post it, you'll do your title, your description, you'll do your thumbnail, you can add it to a playlist, but it's right here in the audience section, okay?
Okay.
You want to do that is yes for kids, and then that's going to have it in the, special kids section of YouTube. Or if you want to get a little bit more advanced, you could say, only viewers, or don't restrict, or something like this. But if it is for children, you do want to make sure you do that. And then it's going to be categorized way, way, way differently than a normal YouTube video.
Cool.
But read the guidelines on that, though. Yeah. Like, really, if you are talking about really tough subjects, I think your best, if you get into something, I would just read the guidelines. Read YouTube's guidelines really, really, really closely, because you have to know them. It's your responsibility if you're putting content on there, especially for kids. So look into it. And then if it's something that you feel is a little more mature, I would put something in the beginning of your video, and maybe somewhere that says, even though this is geared for children, we recommend it not be seen for under a certain age or whatever that fits what you're talking about, just to cover yourself. And so this Facebook is the same way. There's community standards that you can't say, oh, I didn't know, because if you use their platform, it's your responsibility to know. So make sure you read all the guidelines and all the rules.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Are there any obvious things, or I guess not obvious things, that we should know about that could get you banned from YouTube? Because I would hate to put in a year's work into YouTube and then suddenly it disappear from the site.
Yeah, let me talk about both of those. So, for Johanna, with your podcast, if you are talking about subjects that are on the fence as far as like adult or child appropriate, I would categorize it for adults and not for children.
Okay.
Because they're going to be so strict on you. If you categorize it for children, they're going to be super strict. I know a woman who was on TikTok. Now, TikTok is different. I think they're even a little bit stricter in some ways. But she had a video of her kids playing around, kind of horse playing, kind of hitting each other and tackling each other. She got that video taken down for child abuse.
Wow.
It was her kids roughhousing. But any type of behavior that they don't want to see, that even is on the fence, they're just gonna, hey, not appropriate. They're using an AI and they don't care. I mean, your one video taken down, they're protecting their own butt, more than they care about you and you're monetizing and how much effort you put into the video. Something else to say about that, Brie?
Yeah, I haven't seen this on on YouTube, but I know what happened on Facebook, because I was there when it happened and it really affected the group that I was in. But somebody was selling cleaner, like spray cleaner to clean windows, clean whatever. And it was one that was for cleaning carpets. And they showed a spilled wine glass on the floor. And they banned it, and they gave them a strike against them because it looked like blood. And then they showed that was a rash on the skin. It was a skin cream. Another lady was skin cream. And they showed the rash, and it did look like child abuse, they thought. And so that also caused a strike against them. So it's the things you don't think of, like when you said that, Marty, I'm like, the wine glass, that's the first thing that came to my mind. It's just spilled wine. What are you talking about? There's nothing wrong with that. But their AI looks at it as blood on the floor. And that's how it was seen. And that's why I got the strike, even though they could fight against it and all that stuff. You just don't want that.
Yep. And then as far as Marty, your question of any things that we should be watching out for, copyright, be super careful about copyright. Now with AI copyright detection, videos from other things, audio from other things, very careful about that. I try to keep my content pretty clean. I don't curse. I don't make, all those kind of obvious things. You can swear on YouTube, but as far as hate comment, that type of stuff, obviously want to stay away from that. I mean, you just got to be kind of smart. I mean, if you understand the censorship in today's modern age, play the game. If you want to do this in a business context, if you don't want to play the game, there's other websites for that. You can go on Kick, you can go on Rumble, you can, there's other sites where if you want to be edgy or on the fence or unrestricted by any type of rules, then there are platforms for that. They don't have 3 billion people on them like YouTube does.
I'll link this article. I've been pulling some of the stats from it. For kids stuff, the content with paid product placements or endorsements is not allowed. Overly commercial content, not allowed. Deceptive, sensational, or clickbait content, not allowed. So I'll link that information in the chat so you can read into it further. But that can really affect you especially if you're going to do any affiliate links or you're looking to make some money on stuff.
Yep.
Just keep that in mind. So I'm going to put that there. You can read more about it and see what they say about the different things.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah,
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. If that's true that you can't really do product placement and promos and affiliate links, I mean, for anybody who wants to make money on the podcast, that's going to make it really difficult. I mean, almost impossible.
But they let ads on. So it's, you can have ads because I've watched many Blippi episodes.
Yeah, that's true.
And they have ads at the beginning. But
we talked about this last week, and Johanna, I still think it's an amazing idea, and the market for it is huge. I mean, kids consume more content than adults by far. When I was a child, I think I was in front of the TV 12 hours a day. Now it's just in front of YouTube. So kids really, consume a ton because they ain't got nothing to do. They're probably watching it in school. So, and a lot of these channels have made huge, a lot of money just through the ad spend without any other type of products and building a personal brand. Because you can always, direct them all. If you have a Blippi, right? People are going to go to Google Blippi from the YouTube channel. So he doesn't really need, once you start to get that mass, that size. But initially, if you're not using, affiliate links are some of the fastest ways to monetize a podcast. And if you don't have that, you're going to have to rely on watch time. And watch time just takes time.